Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. Got my dogs with me. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. I have an interesting video for you. Today, I'm gonna stay out here for 10 days on a $10 budget, and I'm only bringing a couple of items. Before I came here, I took the $10. I went to Walmart and I purchased some food and a couple other things that I'll show you here in a second. I just did my weigh-in in my shorts with my shirt off. I had my shoes off. I did have my socks on, and on day one, my official weigh-in weight was 198.8 pounds. So we'll see how that weight changes throughout this challenge. One of the big factors that I want to mention right off the bat is I did not bring that much gear to use. Now I got a whole bunch of gear in the vehicle, but the rule that I'm going to use on that is the same rule that I always use, and that is if I'm going to get anything out of that vehicle, I will share it with you. So my idea for this challenge is to be fairly primitive as far as tools. I don't have a knife. I don't have any cordage. I don't have much. So I did bring a 2-quart stainless steel Cuisinart pot with a lid. So I did bring that, and that's about it. So we'll see how this goes. But it feels good out here. The temperatures are good. My dogs are happy. I just got finished having some Wendy's. So I got a couple things when I went to Wendy's. I got a couple little containers here, so you'll probably see these being used throughout this video as plate or bowl, right? I also have a fork that came from Wendy's and this cup. So I'm going to be using my trash throughout this 10 days. Now, another thing that I want to mention is anything that I see out here on the landscape, trash or anything like that, it's all fair game. In fact, right in front of the camera here, I'm looking at some cordage right now. So here is a little bit of string or something off of somebody's shorts. So this is a big score already. People leave trash all the time, and in a survival type scenario like what I'm trying to mimic, this stuff's gold. So I'll be definitely hanging on to that, because cordage is a hard thing to reproduce in the field without taking a lot of time and putting a lot of pressure on your hands, and it takes a lot of dexterity to make cordage. So this is really a gold mine. Very cool. That's going to help out tremendously. And I would say that's probably 5 feet of cordage. Now this challenge has a little bit of a twist on it, and you'll see this twist unfold as this video goes. I don't know how it's going to go, but I have a plan, an idea of what the direction I'd like it to go. Now, right now, I'm out, and there is fire restrictions. No campfires, no charcoal, but they do allow gas stoves. Now, if this was a survival situation, I would need to make fire so that I could purify water and cook my food. Now, to comply with the no fire rule that's going on with these fire restrictions, I've came up with a small twist, okay? Like I mentioned a second ago, they are allowing stoves. I'm gonna treat this like a primitive survival situation. And in the event that I can get a friction, not fire, but a friction ember, and get that ember strong enough to make it a coal, at that point, that will unlock my stove. If I can't get fire or an ember or a coal, then I can't have the stove. I have the stove in the vehicle right there. The stove is basically not going to be counted as an item, because when I go out and do my stuff, I don't ever consider fire as an item. So why would I call my stove an item? This is something that I'm gonna have to earn through friction fire. So I'm gonna have to get that ember, and again, then I'll be able to use that stove. It'll be really nice. There's gonna be an unlimited supply of fuel. I can use the stove all I want to cook, boil water. It's gonna be nice because I'll have flame control and stuff like that. It won't be as hardcore as cooking on fire, but I figure that that would be a good way of getting around their no campfire rule, but still treating this video like a survival situation. So my first order of business is to find some sort of cutting tool and maybe some cordage, because I'm gonna need that to get fire or an ember or a coal so I can unlock that stove. So right here we're taking a look at the items that I purchased for 10 bucks. So starting over here, we have about 8 plastic bags. I had them triple bag everything. We've got 2 pounds of beans, 1 pound of brown rice. I have a 98-cent piece of plastic. That might be shelter if needed. Got a Powerade. I think those were on sale for like 50 cents or something like that. Apple juice from concentrate. I was able to get some oatmeal packets. There's 10 of them in there, so that's cool. Some Spam. These were also on sale. There's some tuna here in water. I've got some corn muffin mix. Got some blueberry mix. Got some mac and cheese. And of course, 12 packs of beef ramen. So those are the items that I am going to use to survive out here for 10 days. Not much when you look at it like that. So now that you've seen the items that I'm going to use for my survivability as far as food, and then my plastic, that could be shelter, I need a couple things. I need cordage and I need a cutting tool. And you notice that there's a lot of rock in this area where I'm at, and I'm looking at some of these rocks, and some of them look really good. Like I could probably flake off a nice sharp cutting edge off of some of these rocks. So I'm gonna take a look and see if I can get that done. See if I can find a rock that is gonna show good quality and that can be used as a cutting tool. I'm also noticing a lot of these rocks have natural holes in them, so in the event that I crank out a bow drill set, a bearing block is going to be pretty easy to find out here, because there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like this that has little divots in it. So a bearing block is not the hardest thing on my list right now. I need a cutting tool. So I'm just kind of looking, and I'm looking for something that has the right characteristics to make a good cutting tool. Something that's kind of glossy looking, not too sedimentary looking. Like these rocks right here by my foot, those are granite. I need something like, look at this material right here. This looks like it's flaked off before. So something like that would be probably a decent candidate. Seen a couple more back there a ways back that looked like they could be real interesting to get a flake off of. Okay, I think this piece right here might be a good candidate for getting a flake off of. And this stone is basically going to be a hammer stone, and I'm going to hit it right on the edge, and hopefully it'll break off a flake that'll have a sharp edge. Okay, so we do have kind of a cutting implement now. One flake and it did a good job. I don't like this rock completely. This isn't exactly what I wanted, but this will be good enough, I think, to get me a friction fire set to cut my notch and things like that. Let me try to bust off another one maybe. Okay, got a couple more little fractures off of there. So yeah, I've got a few that I can use as cutting tools for the meantime. So this is going to be what I'm going to use for now. Next thing that I'm on to is cordage, natural cordage. And I noticed that there was some yucca in this area. Look at all that right there. That's excellent stuff for potential cordage. So this stuff is going to be really strong. I'm going to take my cutting edge that I made here and I'm going to cut a few of these shoots, and hopefully this will be the cordage that I can use for my friction fire. Boy, these are sharp. There's one. I'm gonna need a few of these. I've already cut my hand on these. These things are sharp. Look at that. Day one. I'm already cut. That's like a paper cut. It's not as sharp as my knife, but it's better than nothing. And these fibers are tough. These fibers are really tough. This cutting tool here that I have is almost like a serrated blade. This thing is sharp. It's working good. So a couple more and then we'll be set. So look at that. I got a few shoots. Boy, I cut myself a couple times on this. This stuff is sharp. This looks like it could be a nice work area for me to work on the cordage and stuff. I'm also noticing up here some of this driftwood here that's up off the ground. And I'm looking for friction fire candidates. So I'm looking for things that are soft. Break them apart a little bit so that I can weave them into cordage so that they'll be more pliable. Okay, so these are still sharp, but you can see they're a lot more pliable. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to get it nice and pliable. So it's just a matter of working these fibers in and out and getting them where, and being careful about it, because I've already cut my hand like what, 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts or something like that. They're not bad, but I can't afford to be doing that the whole time I'm out here. So funny thing about a scenario like this coming out and being primitive is in the very beginning it's always the most physical, and then after things start falling into place then it becomes more of a mental game. So right now, being day one, it's the physical part. It's the part where I'm working with my body. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start twisting some reverse wrap cordage. I'm going to set these guys right here next to me. Okay, so in the matter of about an hour from the time I cut these to having this cordage here, yeah, it's taken about an hour. So you can see these little rough spots right here where I splice in. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut those little rough spots off right there. And I have what I think is going to be plenty of cordage for a bow drill. Now I left the ends here undone, no particular reason, but I think this is going to work really well. I noticed that there was a piece of what looks like willow kind of close to where I'm at, and it looks like that piece of willow, I think it is, it looks like that piece could be a possible spindle for my set. So I'm gonna look into that. I'm not sure about a hearth yet, but by looking at this wood that I'm against, it's kind of scraping. So this wood, this bench that I'm sitting on, or table, or whatever you wish to call it, this piece could end up being a hearth. So I'm seeing this guy right here. I'm kind of thinking that that's long enough. See if I can get this piece. Yeah, it looks like it might work. Working with stone tools makes things a little bit tougher, but not impossible. So I'm gonna hit it right here, and hopefully that it'll break off right there. So I'm gonna give it a good hard whack. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's see, is that gonna be able to be used? Oh, it just feathered it all out. Might have to find a better method. That'll give me a little room for trimming and stuff like that, and by the time I'm done, it'll be about this big. Okay, just a quick change of plans here. I think I'm actually going to use this as a bow instead of my spindle, so I just think it'll be a better bow than a spindle. So I'm gonna, hopefully you guys are seeing what I'm doing here. I'm gonna try to baton this guy a little bit, not to split it like all the way down, but just to open it up a little bit so I can get my string in there. Something like that. That'll give me a chance to put my string in there and get my string wrapped. So this is gonna be my cordage here for my bow. Then I'll just wrap this around like this, and this will be my handle, and then this will be my bowing string. So hopefully that's gonna work out for me. So what is the story on these guys right here? I just noticed these and they look like they could be promising. That looks like a decent wood, and I think I can get my set out of this. Here's one that might work. It's a little heavy though, it's a little big, but if it works once, that's all I need. A little big for my taste, but I'm gonna pick it up and take it with me anyway. Just had a visit by a couple of dogs from the camp next door, I guess. So here is this piece. I'm gonna try to see if I can't get a spindle out of this maybe. Don't know how this is gonna work. I'm gonna give it a shot though. So we're gonna try to baton this bad boy down. See if I can get a spindle. Here's to hoping, because this is way too thick the way it is right now. But I like the characteristics of this wood here, so it might make a good one. Give it a shot. There we go. Ooh, let's take a look. Yeah, that's good wood there for friction fire. That thing's soft to my nail. Yeah, that's gonna be good stuff. So if I can get this down to the right size, which is hard to do with these stone tools, as you can see, but really the name of the game out here is being patient, taking your time and things like that. And like we all know, I've got plenty of time. I'm gonna be out here for 10 days. But that doesn't mean I need to drag my feet or drop anchor. I need to get this done, because the sooner I get this done, the sooner I have potential for hydration and things like that. So definitely need to get this into a spindle if I can. So I like this wood here. I like this material. I really do think that that's going to be good stuff. Look at how soft it is. So I think I'm on to something. It might take me some time, but like I said, that's all I got out here. Okay. So this piece, man, this could be a hearth and a spindle if I work it right. Right now I'm trying to burn in without damaging my cordage. Got a little bit of a burn in. I'm honestly nervous about my cordage breaking. Right there, it looks a little weak. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep at it. I made it long enough that if it does break there, I should have enough here to make up for that difference. So I'm gonna keep going. No promises here. I've got a notch and I think that that notch is good enough. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna give it a shot though and hope that that notch is good. I got a little catch underneath there. Hopefully you can see that. Got my terrible looking spindle. This is like the worst bow drill set I think I've ever made. And my cordage is not holding up very good. My spindle's got a big crack in it and it wants to break. Oh, this cordage just went right where I thought it would. But that's okay. That's quite okay. That's I have enough cordage, I think, to restring. So let's go ahead and untwist this bad boy. So my first objective is to go nice and easy and see about making dust. Get some dust in there. Okay, the dust is kind of falling, kind of not. So let me shave this off a little bit in hopes that it'll start falling in the right direction. This bearing block is terrible. This cordage is loose, but it is what it is. Things just aren't going too good for me right now. I'm gonna keep trying though. All right, here we go. Let's try it again. My spindle broke in half. Darn. and I was close. Had good dust, but I was afraid that that would happen. But the good thing is that I'm seeing here is I have a hearth that appears to be good. The notch is depositing the dust fairly well. My cordage is kind of holding up. I just need another spindle. So let's try that. Let's find another spindle, see if we can get this going before the sun goes down today. So I found this piece. This part here from my fingers down was in the dirt, so that part's wet. But from here up, I think is going to be dry enough if I can get this and use this as a spindle. This might be a good candidate. I have no idea what kind of wood it is. It passes the soft test, so that's really all I'm concerned about. Now if I can get this cut, and it looks like it's the same size diameter wise as my hearth, my hole that I burned in, so this could work. I'm gonna get to working. Okay, I'm happy. I broke this off, and this is fairly dry, so it was pretty easy to work this. It only took me like a couple minutes, so I'm gonna give this a shot. I have no idea what it's gonna do, no idea what species of wood it is. I'm just trying, folks. So let's thread this bad boy up. I think it's gonna be much better than the last one that we had, because the last one was really crooked and just a pain in the butt. So let's give this a shot. Oh, this is a lot smoother, I can tell you that. My cordage is too loose, and it looks like I need to trim my notch again. Okay. I like this spindle so far. Hopefully it's gonna work, because I feel like I'm losing daylight. So if I don't get it here pretty soon, I probably won't have it. And that's okay if that happens, but I'm just hoping that I can get something here today. Okay, let's give this a shot. Oh, that's too tight. Cordage is too tight, and I don't want to break it. I know this might be a little boring for you guys, but I'm not trying to bore you. I promise. I'm not. I'm just trying to show what's really going on out here. Fail your way to success, hopefully. Okay, wow, that's way loose. Ooh, it's either too tight or too loose. Let me get this right. So I just found out that one of my plies has broken, so I'm down to a 1-ply cordage. I'm down to 1 ply. It's not good, folks. Yep, that's it. So now we are back to making cordage. Now you're probably wondering, well, what about those trash bags? You could twist that up into cordage. That's true, but the trash bags, as far as cordage, it's not that strong. This stuff here is way better, so I'm gonna have to put out some more cordage, and looks like we'll be trying again tomorrow, because I don't think it's gonna happen today. So I'm looking at the sun, and it looks like I have about 2 more hours of daylight, and I saw some mullein when I came in, so I'm gonna go look at that mullein, maybe find a stalk and try a hand drill fire. In fact, there's one right there, but I'm looking for an old dead one that has a nice clean straight center stalk that's dry. So I struck out on my attempt to find a good straight piece of mullein. Just wasn't out there. Everything was green. But I did find this piece of wood. I don't know what it is. It looks like willow or something. It's straight enough. It does have a bow in the bottom, but I figured this is something that I can at least give a shot. Okay, let's see if I can get this burned in. I don't like this spindle, it wobbles too much. I don't like it. I've already got a callus on my hand, but that callus is from the other day when I was practicing hand drill. Yeah. I've got to get it to seat. Okay, I got a somewhat of a burn in, but not much. My hands are not holding up. Hand drill is one of those things that the more calluses you got on the hands, the better. But my hands just aren't there because I'm always doing bow drill. Yeah, it's starting to burn in. This one wobbles too much. Okay, let me go ahead and cut a notch. Then we'll try again. Save that dust. Yeah, that's a lot straighter. Okay, yeah, I might be able to use something there, except this is starting to hurt. That guy, it does not like hand drill. Okay, let's cut a notch and then I'll be back. Okay, I am back with the bow drill. I made a repair in my cordage. It's right in the middle. Bad part about that is I'm gonna have to short stroke my bow in an effort to get an ember. So I'm not gonna be able to give those full length bows, but I figured while I still have daylight, might as well not give up, keep trying. I'm close, you know, I still have a little daylight. The hand drill's just tearing up my hands. I don't know if this is going to be successful or fail. It doesn't really matter, but what does matter to me is not quitting. So I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep working, and hopefully with this short stroke, because this is about all I can do, about that much, hopefully that's going to be enough. Doing too much, is it? Let's try the front portion of the bow. Let's try that portion up there. I really need that middle, don't I? Yeah, darn. Striking out a little bit. Just not going too good for me right now. I need to get better cordage for sure. I made another little section of cordage here. This is a very quick reverse wrap 2-ply. I did it real quick and it's real loose. It's too short for this bow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back just past like the halfway point so I can have a fairly long stroke. And I'm gonna make a sheet bend, and I'm gonna use that other cordage that I had to make this knot. And then what I'm hoping is maybe I can get success, maybe I can get a better burn in. You know, anything is progress at this point. And I'm not gonna give up until I'm out of daylight. So there's my sheet bend and there's my bow. So let's go ahead and put it about maybe there. Oh boy, that's short. I'm gonna have to just hold it. I think I'm just gonna have to hold it. Another thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my hand drill as a socket so I can burn that in a little bit better on the top of the spindle here. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if it's gonna work, if it's not. Anyway, I'm trying. We're gonna give it a shot and see what happens here. So let's thread this bad boy. You know, anything is progress at this point. Anything is progress. See if I can get this to do anything. Boy, that hops around a lot. Okay, this is getting loose already. Don't really have a way to tie this. So I'm just kind of wrapping it up in there and just hoping that it holds. This is all kind of a trial and error situation right now. Hoping that it'll work. That bearing block felt good. So let's give it a shot again here. Oh, this cordage broke. That was my brand new cordage too. Darn. Darn, 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 darn. Look at that. That was just a cheap 1-leaf loose 2-ply reverse wrap. And as we could see, it didn't hold up for nothing. So the tighter 2-ply reverse wrap definitely works better. So I think what I'll do, I'll go back to the leaves over there, to the yucca, and I'll pull off a bunch of leaves and I'll make a strong cordage, and that's what I'll do. But I think that's it for day one. I've failed and failed and failed. My hands tore up. I failed at the bow drill. But that's part of the process. That's what happens out here. I'm gonna go ahead and bust into my Powerade. I'm thirsty, and that's one of the reasons why I get all this stuff for day one, is because until I can purify water, I like having something to drink. So at least day one, day two, day three, you know, I can kind of stay hydrated and stay alive out here. That gives me time. And I think these were on sale for like 50 cents. So that ain't bad for 50 cents. Life is good in the hood. I'm happy. Got a little piece of wood that could be maybe a hearth or something. So here's the update. I went and got all these guys. So I got a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13 of these guys. And they are sharp. So I keep seeing these little shells. And I thought, well, maybe I can put a little shell up there in the top of my bearing block rock, and that'll create less friction. So that was an idea. So I picked up a shell, but while I was doing that, I looked down and I saw this big shell, and then I thought, wait, that's a fossil. Look at this. This is a fossil. It's not even a shell. That is super cool, ain't it? I found that and I'm all excited. And what else? So my rock is getting dull. My rock is definitely getting dull. I'm looking at this cordage and it's pretty good cordage. It's pretty strong even though it's been breaking. So I'm just trying to kind of get an idea of what I need to do with the cordage tomorrow. And another thing that I'm thinking about right now is I'm noticing that there's some ants and stuff, bugs and stuff on the ground crawling around, little biting ants, and I don't want to be getting bit up. So here I am busting my tail trying to work on primitive cordage, and it's failing, and I'm looking like a goofball, right? And I remembered that when I got here I found this. This isn't very strong, I'm gonna be straight with you on that, but I think that's long enough for me to probably get a bow drill fire going. I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Hopefully get something accomplished. I don't know. I am definitely losing daylight, so I'm kind of striking out a little bit, but we'll give this a shot. This cordage I know ain't gonna last long. It's very weak, but yeah, look at that, it broke already. One attempt and it broke. Dang, just striking out. Ah, I was doing so good. I was about to get it. My bearing block was working good, my thing was biting good, and then my spindle broke. Back to the drawing board, back to the drawing board. Dang it. What you doing? Well, day one is officially in the books. Day one is gonna go down as a failure. I didn't get friction fire, and that's kind of something I'm not used to. It was a challenge. I do have some new ideas for tomorrow, but I'm tired. It's time to call it a day. Blondie and I are gonna chill. Ranger's right there. I'm gonna drink a little bit of this grape stuff, huh? But that's about it. I'm gonna go get some more clothes on and get dressed a little better for the night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Day one is in the books. Failure. Blondie. Here, baby. Blondie. Come here. Right here. Not you, buddy. I got a different spot for you. There you go. Lay down on your blanket. Lay down. Good girl. What do you got? Ranger, yours is right here, dude. Here, buddy. I'm gonna get you one too, dude. Ranger. Here. There you go, buddy. Lay down right there. Lay down. There you go. I will lay right here next to you guys. Right here, because I don't think it's gonna get too cold tonight. Get back. Back up. You got your own bed, bro. Dude. You got your own. Oh, this dog is something else. You give him a blanket and he goes and lays in the dirt. Oh my goodness. I guess that's more for you, right, Blondie? You know what to do with the blanket, huh, baby? See you guys in the morning. Pretty crazy.